Avatar: The Way of the Water. I watched it last night. Okay, I watched it last night. After 12 years, we finally got Avatar: The Way of Water. And I mean, who's surprised? It is visually spectacular. It is visually beautiful. It is so pretty. I turned to my wife and she just complained to me about wanting to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, we'll go right now. I mean, it seems like a good point in the movie to go. And she's like, no, it's too pretty to go right now. So it's definitely visually spectacular. And one thing, though, that I was very impressed with was it seemed to have improved emotionally. There was a lot of emotional stake in this film, and it was really, really captivating. And it just kept me on the edge of my seat and really, really let me be invested. And the movie did make some mistakes early on that the emotional weight of the film made up for. It made me forget about it, and it let me buy into it. So Avatar: The Way of the Water is definitely a must see in theaters. I'm revealing the episode after my A113 episode, so early January will be my 2022 movie ranking episode. But I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a spoiler. Avatar is in my top 5 films of 2022. It is pretty dang good. Now, I don't know if it's better than the first Avatar because the first Avatar, the world that they built was so visually spectacular, and just visually it was something we had never really seen before, or at least on that level, and it was pretty crazy to comprehend. And although the story may have lacked, the world was just so beautiful and breathtaking and alive that you just couldn't help but fall in love with it. This one, I feel like, is more character focused and story focused versus Pandora focused. And so visually it is spectacular, but you know, it's not as mind-blowing as the first one was at that time. And Pandora is kind of, you know about Pandora already. It's not new. There's still a lot of elements that you're rediscovering, or you're discovering for the first time, and elements that you're rediscovering, but it doesn't have that same wow as it did the first time. And so I think Avatar, the 2008 release, was just such a special classic that I don't think the Avatar: The Way of the Water could replace it. However, it is a very, very worthy sequel to the film. So I definitely have a lot of faith in Avatar 3 and 4 and 5 and a potential 6, 7, and 8. James Cameron has been bugging the heck out of me the last few months, just being so cocky about Avatar. And he's like, oh, you know what, go to the bathroom at any point in the movie. You'll come back and see the movie again anyway. He's just been so cocky, and it's been so hard. But he definitely backed it up. So what can you do? I am excited for the future of the Avatar franchise. Now, if you haven't seen the movie yet, I am going to go into spoilers because I feel like I can't really have an Avatar segment on this podcast or a standalone Avatar video on my YouTube channel if I don't talk about the actual details of the film. So if you haven't seen the movie, this is your spoiler warning. It is time to subscribe and like this video, and plan to come back to it later after you've seen Avatar: The Way of the Water. All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about the cons of Avatar: The Way of Water. This is what I did not like about the movie. And I'm not going to say it's too long. I've only seen this movie once. Obviously, I'm planning to see it again, maybe a third time, because my rule is you see a movie 3 times, that's when you accurately know how great a movie is. Avatar being 3 hours and 12 minutes isn't really a con in my mind, because after watching it for the first time, I don't know what I would cut. I really don't. I thought about it. I was like, okay, which parts were really fillers? And there was an argument for every scene, so I don't really think anything should be cut. With that being said, the cons of this movie were actually the choices that it made at the very beginning. I said earlier in this podcast that I applaud bold choices, and I will call a movie out when it is not being bold. Avatar, to start, made some choices that were weird. I wouldn't call them bold. I would just say they're weird. The first one, the first Avatar movie had no indication of kids, no indication of romance outside of Jake Sully and Neytiri. So where the heck did Colonel Miles Outrich, however you say his last name. When the heck did he have a kid on Pandora? When did this happen? Spider, you know, the Tarzan of Pandora, and the Tarzan of this movie, he is Miles' son. That's revealed pretty early on, and you're just kind of scratching your head like, how, with who, when, why? I mean, I get it, you know, you're a military guy, you're on this alien planet for a while, your natural human needs don't go away. I get it, but also it's just kind of a weird choice. But I really liked Spider. I liked his character, so I was okay with it. I bought into it, but that was a weird choice. Also, bringing back the Colonel was just kind of cheap. I felt like you could have come back with a stronger villain who made his own avatar to infiltrate. I didn't feel like it needed to be the Colonel. However, saying that, the Colonel did provide a lot of really cool movies, and I felt he was better written this time than he was the first movie. There's the scene where he is seeing his dead body, and he's seeing how he truly died, because, you know, the whole premise is that he died. The backup plan was they were going to store his memories and mind in an avatar so he can come back and finish the mission. And so he does, but the only thing he wouldn't remember is how he died. So they go and they find the site. He discovers it on accident. Really, it wasn't really planned, and he holds his own skull in his hands and he crushes. That was a crazy moment. That was crazy. That was pretty cool. So I was like, all right, I could live with this. Like I said, a lot of mistakes were made early on that I just kind of bought in. The next one was Kyrie. Okay, this was weird. Sometimes the accents in this movie kind of failed them, because Sigourney Weaver's character, Grace's daughter, her avatar daughter, I thought her name was Kitty, and then it sounded like her name was Kira. So I was like, what? But anyway, her daughter, played by Weaver, actually, was born, and you don't know who the father is. It's a mystery. Kind of like Star Wars, you didn't know who Rey's parents were. You didn't know who Anakin Skywalker's father was. My theory is that she is a father, or she is the how do I describe this? She is the daughter of Eywa, you know, the living spirit in Pandora, the thing that connects all life. She is the daughter of Eywa. She basically is the Force baby of Avatar. She is Anakin Skywalker. She is the chosen one, I think. I really do think she's just going to be the chosen one throughout the series. So I thought she was a good character to have. It just kind of felt, I don't know, it just kind of felt a little weird, some of the choices they made with her. I mean, just her being around again, like, if she's not the spirit, if she's not a Force baby of Pandora, then it's a really random choice to make. And also her random epilepsy. They gave her epilepsy for a single scene just so they can have an excuse to bring Norm into the island village and have the Colonel find a way to track Sully. I mean, that was the only reason they gave her epilepsy. That was a weird choice. Also, why did Jake's sons and Spider have to use the word bro every 3 words? They would be like, yeah, we gotta go do this, bro. Yeah, you have to pull this, bro. Oh, let's fight, bro, then, bro. Like, every 3 words is bro. And I was like, okay, we get it. You guys are brothers. Just shut up. Stop saying the word bro. It was really bothering me. I think that's it. I think that's all the problems I had with the movie. That is all the problems I had with Avatar: The Way of the Water. And they weren't really big problems. Like I said, I bought into it early on in the film. I mean, the bro thing was the only thing that maybe every once in a while just made me kind of cringe. But Pandora is a beautiful world. James Cameron expanded the world beautifully. The story was great. It gets that last final act is incredibly captivating. And there's a lot of moments in this film that just make you sick to your stomach in a good way. Just because you're so invested in the characters. When I can't remember how to pronounce her name, but the whales, essentially, when they were all dying, my wife and I were literally about to throw up. It was so sad. We were so invested in those animals and the land, and seeing them damaged, hurt, killed was heartbreaking. And then, you know, Jake's Sully's firstborn son. Like, I've only seen the movie once, so I'm not solid with names yet. But his firstborn son dying was predictable. Like, you kind of knew there was going to be a death coming, and then about 5 minutes before it happened, you're like, okay, he's about to die. Everyone knew that was coming. So I guess that's another con, was this movie can be predictable and a little bit cliche with its writing. But it definitely, you still felt it emotionally. And man, Neytiri is a beast. She is a beast. And when she's fighting through her grief and taking out on all the soldiers, that was insane. And it was truly terrifying. And you truly thought she slit Spider's throat at one point. Because, you know, Spider is the Colonel's son. She uses Spider as leverage to get her daughter back, to get Kitty back. And, like, seriously, it was just insane. I thought this was the bold choice. I thought if she truly did kill Spider in that scene, that would have been the craziest choice I've ever seen in a movie be made. And I would have thought about that for the rest of my life. That would have been the boldest, most insane thing to happen on screen. But she did. Instead, you kind of thought for a second she did, but instead she cut his chest. And they they get their daughter back. It worked. And then Spider goes on to eventually save the Colonel, which you're kind of like, dang it, Spider. But it kind of works because you also didn't want the Colonel to just drown. You want him to have a better, more satisfying death. So I was okay with it. But yeah, just a crazy, crazy final act. Avatar: The Way of Water is definitely worth watching. It's a 9 out of 10 film, in my opinion. I can't give it a 10 out of 10 just because there are some flaws. And also, I don't know if I can rewatch this movie. I'm definitely scared to rewatch it. I need to rewatch it. I want to rewatch it, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, this might be really hard to rewatch. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, I'm giving this movie a 9 out of 10. I want to hear your thoughts about Avatar: The Way of the Water, so please let me know in the comments below. And honestly, just please subscribe, download, follow me on all social media platforms, Big Screen Bearcon or Bearcon the Official if you want to follow me personally. It truly means the world to me, to all of you guys who make it to this part of the podcast, who listen to the whole thing. That means the world to me. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it more than you will ever know and understand. A113, the greatest Pixar story ever written, is coming soon. Be on the lookout for it. I'll see you guys next time.